We have been wondering on the show, Kings fans have been wondering for a long time, when are we going to find out about Keegan Murray? When is he going to be extended? This is from John Hollinger, who writes for The Athletic, isn't always overly favorable when it comes to the Kings, used to be a member of the Grizzlies front office. He writes why NBA rookie contract extensions are harder now and what to expect with a 2022 class. So long story short, he lists them. Group one already done. You got Paolo. You've got Jalen Williams. You got Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith. And you've got group two on deck. He says group two on deck, probably Dyson Daniels, Jalen Duren. And there it is, along with Christian Braun, Keegan Murray. And this is what John Hollinger says about Keegan Murray and the Kings and an extension. This one feels pretty straightforward. I would guess is one of the most likely to end in a deal. Murray is older, and most of his 2022 classmates, older than most of his classmates, 25 years old. Helpful because he pretty much is what he is at this point, a starting caliber forward who is a relatively good defender, can make open shots and provide some secondary scoring. We'll come back to that. He says something around $25 million a year for 4 years is the ballpark for this type of player these days. I'd expect Murray's next deal to land in that range. The other reason to think this is how it plays out is that the Kings will have more serious luxury tax concerns in 26 if this deal pushes into the upper 20s and millions annually. So how about that? Are we okay with that if that's true? If Keegan Murray is what he is, a starting caliber forward who is a relatively good defender, can make open shots, and provide some secondary scoring, if that's what he is, are we as Kings fans good with that? Can we accept that? Or do we still need and want more from Keegan Murray?
Yeah, I don't know if you're asking me that question or you just want me to jump in and help you promote that question, but I would love to hear where Kings fans lie on the Keegan Murray spectrum. I would imagine it's going to be full tilt. You'll see some far left, far right, down the middle, a little slightly slanted. Some people are absolutely in love with him. I think some people are in a wait and see category when it comes to Keegan. I'm not exactly sure. I truly believe this year for the Kings is huge, no doubt about it. But as far as culture setting and things that need to change in a lot of people's eyes, but Whitey, I truly believe this is a huge year for Keegan Murray, not only for the money when it comes to, financially, but I think he's got for his naysayers and for the people that truly believe just what that description points out, he's got to kind of, expand his game for those people. I'm not sure, where it lies. I think we'll all sit back and watch, but I'm interested to see, how people view Keegan.
I think it's readily apparent that with each passing season, his ceiling comes down. He still could be the expectations, right?
Yeah,
as a rookie, you set the record for most threes made by rookies. Like, oh, this guy's going to be great. Year two, his numbers were up. He had a decent year, but there was still a lot of disappointment. Then you had last year, and we know we had extenuating circumstances. He wasn't getting as many shots with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the team. But I think that's a fair statement. He pretty much is what he is. I think if you're the Kings, that's fine. There's still a chance that he busts through as he's had some big games, but he still helps you. I remember Drape saying, and this was a couple of years ago, he said, this guy was a fourth pick in the draft. He's got to be a star for you. Certainly you want him to be, and maybe he still is. But if he's not, if this is what he is, there have been guys that were drafted higher than fourth who couldn't even play in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm not making excuses for Keegan, but he right now, if this is what he is, he definitely helps you. I don't think there's any question that you extend him. That's a different conversation. I think we all pretty much agree. Yeah, you want to keep him around.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more there, but with each passing season, as I say, it becomes more and more apparent that this is what Keegan's going to be as a pro.
Yeah, I do think the expectations have been tempered down a little bit. I will say this though, Whitey, when it comes to Keegan, there's an opportunity to kick the glass ceiling open a little, bust through it a little more. But when you really sit down and look at it, and John Hollinger definitely makes a great point, I truly believe the 4 for 25 a piece, every single year is about where he lies at. I think he's going to get the Jabari Smith, which was 5 for 122. I think it'll be one less year, but I truly think he's going to get 20 to 25 million bucks. And the way the cap and the way, the division of how you bust down your cap, that's decently fair for a starter at this point now. To me, that's what it's going to cost. Your fifth or fourth or third starter, if you're catching 20, 25 million, however you spin it, because just look at the Kings. You're going to have, and every organization is going to have one or two players who break the bank. Then you'll have someone that probably sits somewhere in the $20 to $25 million range. And then you're going to have a couple of $15 million guys, or, one that you might get on a 1 year for $10 million. The way the cap is busting down, that's how it's going to look. I just don't I do understand, but I'm highly inquisitive to see how Kings fans will react to if we get down the road, him being the third highest paid player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
If he becomes, just so happens to be, the second highest paid player on this team. That's where we're going to see some Kings fans really start to have an issue, I think, if the returns are what is John Hollinger is giving,
Mm-hmm.
Fourth scorer on the squad, or, a high caliber starter, but not really an all-star. When you become the second or third highest player on your squad, that's not that to most fans, they're not feeling that.
Right. Also, we have to still be patient. It's been 3 years. This is year 4 for him, as we all know. And as you pointed out, Jay, this is a big year for him. It's not to say that it's got to happen now or never.
No.
But at some point, if a guy's 4 or 5 years into the NBA, you pretty much know what he is. And we're approaching that.
Unless he's 18.
Yeah, right. This is interesting as well. I want to just look quickly. We'll circle back to Keegan. But John Hollinger talks about some of the other members of that class and whether they're going to sign extensions. He says the maybes, Walker Kessler Jazz.
Okay.
He's not sure. Hollinger's not sure he'll get the extension. Tari Eason Rockets. Okay. Shaden Sharp Blazers. Mark Williams Suns. Benedict Mathurin Pacers. Jaden Ivey Pistons.
Yeah.
And then he says, don't hold your breath. Peyton Watson, Jeremy Sohan, Dalen Terry, Ochai Agbaji, and Usman Jang, Malachi Branham. So anyway, he says, and I think we would all agree, we all hope this is the case, looks like it's pretty much a no-brainer, and it's very likely that Keegan's going to sign that extension. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet, but that's all right. We're still within the reasonable time frame here.
Yeah, the way you conduct business, we know the Kings conduct business the way they go about some things, head scratching sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can go back to the Domantas Sabonis, albeit he earned it. Shouts out to Domas for getting his coin. It has nothing against him. But I think we've all kind of questioned, well, man, Domas was going to get the money. Did we have to give it to him right then and there? So I don't really know why the Keegan Murray deal hasn't happened. I could honestly see them saying, hey, we need to see a little bit more from you.
Yeah.
And I also think, I don't know if it was intentional, Whitey, but I do believe it has worked out better for them. They've kind of let the market be set with the Jabari Smiths. Who was the other one at the top that already got upped? It was Jabari. Well,
it was Paolo.
Paolo. Yeah. Like it was one more too. There's a third one.
Yeah, I'll get that.
It was Paolo, Jabari, and one other one.
Let's see. Holmgren and Jalen Williams.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of see the market being set. We know Keegan's not the J-Dub, the Chet, and the Paolo, but he's Jabari Smith. You can make parallels, right? Dyson Daniels, it's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a baller.
Mm-hmm.
He showcased that he is a baller, and he's probably a rung above the Jabari Smiths and the Keegans right now.
Yeah, at least at one end of the floor.
For sure.
Yeah, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. That's what Keegan is. You good with that? Or do we need to see more from him this year on the text line from the 916? Hopefully the Kings let Murray play the 3 and not have to be a lockdown defender. Let him just guard his position. And from the 510, Keegan for me is a king. Kids love nothing better than the whole arena yelling, Keegan Murray. I know that's true, but that's the last thing the Kings as an organization.
You ain't winning no games.
Should we extend him? Well, the kids love him. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What do you want, Keegan?
Yeah, hello, man.
I mean, I get it. And that's a big part of the fan experience here in Sacramento,
sure.
But that's how we are here. Hey, we love the guy.
Makes it is a catch-22. Makes us the best fans in the league, but sometimes we get attached. Sometimes you got to let that significant other walk out the door, and it's best for everybody.
Mhm.
The Kings have shown a propensity to not do that. And when they do, it's really like, I've been in this relationship probably 2 years longer than I really needed to be. And that's kind of the Kings' MO in many different ways. If you're asking me personally with Keegan, I'm on a show it and prove it deal for me. I would almost come to Keegan, and it's not, if you're Keegan or his camp, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at his agent. I can't think off the top, but
Yeah, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I apologize.
I can't think it was. Yeah, let me look that up real fast while I talk about it.
Mhm.
If I'm Keegan's camp, no way, no how am I settling for not a 4-year deal. Like we need to be talking 4-year deal. If Jabari got 5, my guys got to get 4
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. I think it's Andrew Bailey, isn't it? Isn't that Keegan's?
I'm looking. I apologize. I'm not seeing it right here, but I know it's here somewhere. Oh, is there any chance that Keegan is not sure he wants to sign here? And I'm not trying to create any untoward rumors or anything. A lot of fans assume that, he wants to go join De'Aaron Fox. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. My assumption would be that he wants to stay here because he can get more money. But I'll feel better about the whole thing once he signs and extends. I would think that maybe in some ways the Kuminga situation is a holdup, but that it shouldn't be because you're going to sign him now either way, right? You're going to sign Keegan no matter what happens with Kuminga, which, by the way, the more and more, the further we travel down that road, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a Mark Bartlestein guy.
Thank
Keegan
you.
Is, and Kyle McClarney guy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I mean, we've been told that, but I do think at any point in time, any single day, trigger could be pulled for the right price.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors really have to figure out what they're going to do first before the Kings can, make a move, or the Suns or anybody else. So I'm with you on that. I truly think Keegan comes to the table and I say, Jabari got this. Maybe, we're waiting for one other domino to fall, which may be the Dyson Daniels. And then, hey, come talk to us. Come speak. Let's hit the round table. If I'm the Kings, I'm definitely saying I need to see just a pinch more. But I'm saying, Jay is saying, I would, and I've said this before, I'm signing Keegan because I need the slot.
Mm-hmm.
I need the slot. Meaning if I'm going to give you $25 million, that allows me to have his slot, his pay scale, his pay slot. If I want to move on him, then I will. $25 million is nothing to sneeze at.
Mm-hmm. What if Keegan came to you, as he may? He says, I'm having a good career here and I like it here. I know I can be better. Jay, what do you think I need to work on? How do you need me to be better? What would you tell Keegan?
I need a little more gumption.
Mm-hmm.
I need a little more attitude. I almost need the pre-Iowa Keegan, right? Isn't that what we was told? He was so off the hook that his dad had to settle him down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a far cry. You went to the whole opposite end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I need a little bit of something of that. I also need a little more aggressiveness, and that comes with the gumption, the little mean streak, the dog. I like to see that. And I don't know if we got to have you go sit on the couch. I don't need if the therapist got to have a Zoom call. I don't know what we need to do, but I need to see some of that aggression on the court. You can be Mary Poppins off the court as long as you want. I don't give a damn. But on the court, I need you to do a little something else. The second part for me too is, and I think a lot of what I'm looking for comes with the aggression. I also need you to put the foot on the gas. I don't need you to keep passing the rock when I need you to go get the point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to make the pass when I need you to create. I need to see, and I've used this example before. Coach Christie said this to me, and it stuck with me for a long time. When I was with the Lakers, when I was with the Knicks, I wasn't getting the burn. I wasn't getting the playing time. We were making the playoffs. I would get on the treadmill, and I would operate as if I'm playing. And even if our team lost in the first round, let's say the Knicks lost in the first round, I would continuously operate through the second round, the third round, and the finals, and run my body ragged to know my limit. What I'm asking Keegan is, and so the moral of that story is this, and this is what he said: I'd rather know my limit, be pushed to the end of all in personally, before I let my competition or I let someone else push me to the limit, and I don't know if I have any more left in the tank. And that stuck with me forever, because I think if we all did that in life, man, we're great in what we do, but we would push the limits.
Mm-hmm.
For me, on a smaller scale, Whitey, that's what I'm looking for Keegan. I want to see, can you give it to me as a star? Can you push the limit? Or are you okay with being third option, fourth option, a team member? And if that's what it is, just like you said earlier, then that's end all be all.
Yeah.
Guess what, though? Your slot may not be what you want.
Right. One of the big questions with Keegan is, how many shots is he going to get? Are there more shots there for him that he's not getting, or is he not getting the shots he needs because of the offense? Field goal attempts per game, his rookie year, 9.8. And, he had a really good year. Shot 41% from threes. Next year, he only took 12.7, but moving up, and he averaged 15 a game. Last year, back down to 10.8 shots per game. And he struggled early part of the year with his 3-point shot, got those numbers up, shot well enough down the stretch, and in the second half to shoot 34% from three. His lowest number, but it was much better in the second half. So that's the whole key with Keegan. We want him to be a bigger part of the offense for the Kings, but is it we need to run more for him, or Keegan, the shots are there, you have to look for them more? I don't know the answer. Yeah. The answer is probably somewhere in between, right. But I think they do need him. I think both. You got to look for your shot more, and we probably have to run more stuff for you too.
Yeah, agree.
To get the most out of him.
Yeah. Well, Keegan's an anomaly. That's why we continue to have this conversation. He presents something for the Kings that pretty much nobody else does. He's the type of person you can see there's something there. There's a little more upside, but I'm trying to see if I can pull it out of you.
Yeah.
And we could talk about plenty of athletes throughout history, the conundrum of history, that's been the conundrum. Like, it's how do we pull more out of you? I just don't know if you can get that out of Keegan right now. I truly believe there's a lot more in Keegan than what we've seen, but I also understand that sometimes we don't, and I use that example of Doug Christie, sometimes we don't get to the end of all means, and we're just going to get what's on the surface, or we're going to get what we're continuously getting right now.
Yeah. He had one of the biggest scoring nights in Sacramento Kings history.
Yeah. He's got talent.
Yeah.
We know.